Hello everyone, welcome back to today's session. I am Santosh, lecturer in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department, Government Polytechnic Karkala. So in the last class we have discussed stack related operations. So stack operation, push and pop operations using STM and LDM instructions. So and also we have discussed different addressing modes related to stack operations and swap instructions. So in this session I am going to explain SWI instructions. So SWI means software interrupt instructions, PSR instruction, program status register instructions, and loading constant with pseudo instructions, NOP instruction, and I will give for each instruction I will give one example. At the end of this session, as usual, you will be having multiple choice questions. So before going to the software interrupt instruction, first we will understand what is meant by interrupt. So an interrupt is an input signal to the processor or controller indicating an event that needs immediate attention. So interrupt is an input signal to the processor, so that requires some service from the processor or the controller. So let us consider, so this is our main program. So at each location we are having certain programming lines, or we have written some instruction. So and we are executing this program. So normal sequence will be like this. So from the beginning address, from the starting address, so we are going to execute this instruction. So at this point, so in between we got this interrupt. So now, as I said, interrupt is high priority pass. So what is your processor will do? So processor will stop executing this instruction. So it will stop executing remaining instruction. So and it will go to the ISR. So this is ISR. So what is ISR? That is, ISR means interrupt service routine. So where interrupt related programs is stored, it will execute operation related to this interrupt. So after completion of the interrupt related programs, it will again come back to the main program. So start executing the remaining instruction. So like this way, whenever an interrupt occurs, the processor will execute the like this sequence. So it will start execution the main program. Whenever an interrupt occurs, it stops the execution of the remaining instruction of the main program. Then it will jumps to the ISR, where ISR is the interrupt service routine, where interrupt related program is stored in this ISR. So after completion of the ISR, it will come back to the main program and start to execute the remaining instruction in the main program. So now consider software interrupt instruction. So there are hardware interrupts and also we have software interrupt. Software interrupt means through the instruction we are calling an interrupt. So software interrupt instruction causes a software interrupt exception, so which provides a mechanism for application to call operating system routine. So using the software interrupt, so we can call operating OS routines. So this is the syntax of SWI, software interrupt instructions. SWI, that is the condition, that is the optional. So followed by we need to mention some number. So software interrupt instruction number. So where SWI number, so which is used to represent a particular function, call or a feature. So software interrupt instruction. Okay, software interrupt instruction, it is used to enter into supervisory mode. So we have 7 different processor modes in ARM controller. So this SWI instruction, software interrupt instruction, is used to enter into SPC mode, supervisory mode. So after execution of this instruction, the LR underscore SPC in link register of supervisory mode will get the address of the instruction following the SWI instruction. The current CPSR, the current program status register, the content is moved to SPSR. The PC, the program counter, will get the address 0x8 from the interrupt vector table. Now the current mode is changed to supervisory mode. and also in the CPSR it will mask the IRQ interrupts because it's already executing an software interrupt, so it will mask the further interrupt to be occurred. So when the processor execute an SWI instruction, it sets the PC to the offset 0x8 in the vector table. So this instruction is also forces the processor mode to supervisory mode. The software interrupt instruction is executed in user mode, but the SWI instruction is executed in user mode, but after execution of the SWI instruction it will enter into supervisory mode. So I will directly take one example. So in this is 0x00008000. So in this location, in this memory address, we have software instruction following by the SWI number. So let us consider before execution the CPSR contains, so this content, so the CPSR is in user mode, the PC contains 0x000800, that is nothing but this address, SWI instruction address. LR, link register, so link register is which is nothing but R14, which contains this content, and R0 register contains 0x12. So after execution of this instruction, what will happen? So at this location, so 0008000, so we are calling SWI instruction. So whenever SWI instruction is called, then processor will enter into supervisory mode. See here, the current mode is changed to supervisory mode. So the previous mode, the user mode, those content is moved to SPSR. See, the same content is moved to here. So whenever it is coming return back to the main program, so it will restore the previous mode. So that's why the previous mode CPSR content is stored in the SPSR. The now PC is, so from the IVT, the PC got address 0x000008. So for each interrupt or for each exception, we have an address. So for SWI instruction, so we have 0x000008. So where interrupt related program is stored in these locations. So right, for SWI instruction, this is the 8 is the interrupt vector table. This is the ISR for the SWI instruction. So the LR, the return address, so here it 0x00080004. so this is the instruction after the SWI instruction. So in ARM, each instruction takes 32-bit or 4 bytes. So the starting address is 8000, so 8000, 8001, 8002 and 8003 SWI instruction will be stored. So later that 8004, that is the next instruction after the SWI instruction. So R0 is 12. So here R0 is used to pass the parameter. So from main program to ISR or from ISR to main program, so we can pass the some parameter values through the general purpose register. So in this way we can implement SWI in ARM controller. So next consider program status register instructions. So in ARM controller we have two PSR register. So program status register. So one is the CPSR and another one is the SPSR. CPSR means current program status register and SPSR means saved program status register. So and also it provides two instructions to directly control program status register. The first one is the MRS instruction and MSR instruction. So MRS instruction transfer content of either CPSR or SPSR into a register, whereas in MSR instruction transfer the content of a register into a CPSR or SPSR. So together these instructions are used to read and write the CPSR and SPSR. So this is the syntax of program status register instruction. So as I told already, we have two instructions, MRS and MSR. So this is condition, so that is the optional. So MSR or MRS or MSR, this is also conditionally executed. So how to remember CMRS and MSR? So in one instruction, the data transfer from CPSR to general purpose register. In another instruction, general purpose registers to status register. So you know, so normally the move instruction, so move destination comma source. So this is the general structure of the move instruction. So you remember like this, M means move. Now R means register, general purpose register, and S means status register, either CPSR or SPSR. C, move destination comma source. So the direction is from source to destination. So now we are from status register to general purpose register. So move, see here, from CPSR or SPSR to RD. So whereas in MSR, so this is move, S means status register, R means general purpose register. So move destination comma source. So again data will move from source to destination, from register to status register. See here, in the destination should be CPSR or SPSR. In source, general purpose register should be present. Or we can move immediate value to CPSR or SPSR also. So MRS, we move the data from status register to register, whereas in MSR it moves the data from register to status register. See here, so MRS, so copy the program status register to a general purpose register, so PSR to RD. So MRS, see here. So whereas in MSR, so we can move either the general purpose register value or immediate value. So move general purpose register to a program status register, or move an immediate value to a program status register. So from RM to CPSR or SPSR, or immediate value to CPSR or SPSR. So here I have mentioned field. So what is the meaning of field? So this is the structure of CPSR register. So CPSR is a 32-bit register. So here we have 4 fields, from 0 to 7 control field, 8 to 15 extension field, and 16 to 23 status field, and from 24 to 31 we have flag field. So in this we are using control and flag fields. So extension and status, which is not implemented in the current ARM processor, so we are using control fields and flag field. So in the syntax you can see a label called fields. So this label is a combination of, for control you have to mention C, for extension you have to mention X, for status you have to mention S, and flag you have to mention F. See here. See here the field. So in the instruction I have mentioned CPSR underscore C or CPSR underscore X, CPS underscore F. So like that, so you can move data from register or immediate value to particular field of the CPSR register. So these are the combinations. So control for C, extension X, status S, and flag F. So let us consider an example. So pre means before execution. So before execution the CPSR contains this data. See here. So here I am moving data to control field. So I will take only the status of the control field. So what is the control field? IFT. So capital IFT. So in ARM controller, so you are mentioning I, capital for 1 and small I for 0. So I is 1, F is 1, T, thumb state. So that is 0 means that is the ARM state, and also it is in SVC mode. So supervisory mode. For supervisory mode, so we have to enter 10011. Now this is the current status of the CPSR register. So when we execute this instruction MRS, so it will move the content of CPSR to R1 register. Now R1 contains 11010011. So here we are performing BIC operation. So okay, so first it will copy CPSR to R1 register. So the BIC instruction which performs the logical AND operation between the operand 1 and complemented value of the operand 2. See, in operand 2, so here we have mentioned 0x80. So that is the in binary 10000000. So if we complement this value, so what will happen? So 1 means 0 and remaining bits will be 1 1 1 1 1 1. So we need to perform logical AND operation between these two values. So now this becomes so 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1. So we need to do from LSB. So 1 1 means 1 1 1 means 1 into 1 and 1 is 1, 0 and 1 is 0, 0 and 1 is 0. So 1 and with 1 1, 0 and with 1 0. So 1 and with 1 1, 1 and with 0 so 0. So this is the content of the R1 register after executing the BIC. So now this content is moving to CPSR register with control field. Control field means the least 8 bits from 0 to 7. So now this is the content of I. See, now it becomes 0. So I is the small. So 1, that is the F, and thumb state is 0 T. So and SPC mode. So 10011. So after execution of this instruction now, so using MRS instruction, BIC and MSR instruction. So before execution I equal to 1. So that means it disables the IRQ interrupts. So after the execution I becomes 0, that enables the IRQ interrupts. So using MRS and MSR instructions, so we can read and write the CPSR or SPSR instruction. So first it copies the CPSR into R1, then BIC instruction clears the bit 7 of R1. The register R1 is then copied back to CPSR register, which enables the IRQ interrupt. So the next type of instruction is loading constant with pseudo instruction. So there is no ARM instruction to move 32-bit constant into a register, because ARM is basically a 32-bit controller. So here we don't have any move instruction to move a 32-bit constant into a register. For this purpose, so we should use the pseudo instruction. So these two instructions for loading the constant, so LDR, so load register, so destination register, so we need to specify equal some constant values. So the constant value will move to RD register, or we can load address of the label. So that label indicates an address to RD register. So ADR instruction, LDR and ADR instructions. So whereas in LDR, so it load the 32-bit constant or address to RD. So load constant or address pseudo instruction. So whereas in ADR, it load the 32-bit relative address. So load pseudo address pseudo instruction. The first pseudo instruction writes 32-bit constant or address to a register, see your LDR instruction, whereas in the second pseudo instruction ADR writes a relative address into a register, which will be encoded using PC relative expression. So let us consider an example here. So LDR R3 equal to 0xFF0. So it loads 0xFF0 into R3 register. So here the constant is moving to R3, so which is nothing but move R3 comma hash 0xFF0. The processor or controller, see here, will be encoded using the PC relative expression for the second and third example. So LDR R1 is equal to 0xFFF. It loads 0xFF into R1. So whereas in last example LDR R2 is equal to place now. where the place is the relative address. It loads the address of place. So where place is the label, here these are the data. So place label. So it loads the address of place into R2. Here it load value, immediate value or constant value to R1. So here immediate value, constant value to R3. So next instruction is NOP, no operation instruction. The syntax is NOP, and this also can be conditionally executed, and this is optional field. So NOP, no operation, it does nothing. So the assembler treat it as a pseudo instruction and generates an alternative instruction that does nothing. So in R mode, so this instruction is encoded as move R0, R0, whereas in thumb mode, it is encoded as move R8, R8. See here, move the value of R0 to R0, that does not change anything value of the R0, so it does nothing. So normally NOP instruction is used to generate delay. So this is regarding NOP instructions. So today we have discussed software interrupt instruction, what is interrupt, software interrupt, and PSR instruction, MRS and MSR, and also we have studied loading constant with pseudo instruction and NOP instruction. So okay, let us consider few multiple choice questions. So again, take a pen and paper. So write down the question number and write the which option is right answer for those questions. So let us consider the first question. The SPSR stores the dash mode of CPSR. The saved program status register stores the dash mode of CPSR. CPSR means current program status register. So A present, B previous, C both, D none of the above. For answer for this question is, so B previous. So SPSR, so normally it is used to store the previous mode of the CPSR. So whenever the ARM controller, it's from one processor mode to another processor mode, so it will store the previous mode content to the SPSR. So like in interrupts or exception, whenever an interrupt or exception occurred, the CPSR content will be first to store to SPSR. Then the ARM controller will change into the respective mode. Whether it is, if interrupt occurred, it will enter into IRQ or FIQ mode or supervisory mode. So previous mode of the CPSR. So next question is, so dash instruction used to write a 32-bit constant to a register. So A LDR, B STR, C STRB, D LDRB. So which instruction used to write a 32-bit constant to a register? So answer is, so A LDR. So that is the pseudo instruction. So there is no move instruction to transfer 32-bit constant into a register. So that's why here we are using LDR instruction to store or load a 32-bit constant into a register. So option A is the right answer. So next question, SWI, software interrupt, is a dash interrupt instruction. A software, B hardware, C both, D none of the above. So SWI, software interrupt, is a dash interrupt instruction. The answer is yes, software. So the name itself, in the instruction itself, SWI, software interrupt, it is a software interrupt instruction. So A is the right answer. So next question. So dash instruction transfer the content of CPSR into a register file. So A MRS, B CPSR, C MSR, D none of the above. So dash instruction transfer the content of CPSR into a register file. So which instruction used to transfer content of status register CPSR to register file? The answer is, so A MRS. So this is the move instruction. Move destination comma source, from source to destination. So now the source is status register, that is the CPSR register. The data is moved to R register, general purpose register. So AMRS is the right answer. The next question is, the C field of CPSR controls the A. interrupt mask, B. thumb state, C. processor mode, D. all of the above. The C field, C means control field. The control field of current program status register controls the, so answer is all of the above. See the control field, so CPSR is a 32-bit register. The control field is the lower 8 bits, so 0 to 7. In 0 to 7 IFT, so I and F for the interrupt mask bit. You can use, using this you can enable or disable the interrupts. T means thumb state, to select ARM state or thumb state, and remaining 5 bits for the to select different processor mode. So using control field, so you can control interrupt mask, enable or disable. You can change thumb state, ARM state or thumb state, or you can select processor mode. So all of the above is the right answer. The next question is, SPSR stands for, so A. saved process status register, B. store program status register, C. saved program status register, D. saved program shift register. So the SPSR stands for, so answer is C. saved program status register. So which is used to store the previous mode of the CPSR, current program status register. The content will move to SPSR whenever an interrupt or exception occur. So option C is the right answer. So next question. So each SWI instruction has an associated dash. SWI instruction. So A. SWI flag, B. SWI address, C. SWI number, D. none of the above. So each SWI instruction, software interrupt instruction, has an associated dash. So for this question answer is option C, SWI number. So in the syntax we have mentioned SWI followed by, we need to enter some number. So SWI followed by some number, so you need to mention some number. So option C is the right answer. So next question. CPSR stands for dash. So A. current process status register, B. current program status register, C. clear program status register, D. current program shift register. So CPSR stands for, C, option B, so current program status register. So SPSR means saved program status register, CPSR means current program status register. So next question is, so dash instruction transfer the content of a register file into a CPSR. A. MRS, B. PSR, C. MSR, D. none of the above. So which instruction transfer the content of a register, general purpose register, into a CPSR, current program status register? So answer is, so C, MSR. So here move, so S is the destination, R is the source, from source to destination. So R, from general purpose register to status register. So content of register file into CPSR. So C is the right answer, so MSR. So last question. So typically the SWI instruction is executed in dash mode. A. user mode, B. supervisor mode, C. interrupt mode, D. fast interrupt mode. So typically SWI instruction, software interrupt instruction, executed in dash mode. So answer is user mode. See here, so before execution of the SWI instruction, so typically it is executed in user mode, but after execution of the SWI instruction, it will enter into the supervisor mode. So don't confuse here. So before the execution of the SWI in the user mode itself, but after execution of the SWI, the processor will move into supervisor mode. So this is the end of the multiple choice question. So assessment by yourself. So count the number of questions you have correctly answered. So these are the references I have used. For more information, please go through these two books, ARM System Developers Guide, Andrew Enslaws, and ARM Assembly Language by William Hall. So okay, this completes unit 2, that is the ARM instruction set. So in this chapter you have studied the fundamentals of ARM instructions, barrel shifter operations, classification of instruction set, data processing, arithmetic instruction and logical instruction set, and various branch instructions. So I have started from load store instructions. In load store instruction you have studied single register transfer, multiple register transfer and swap instructions. And today we have discussed SWI, software interrupt instruction, PSR, program status register instruction, loading constant with pseudo instructions, and NOP instructions. So in the next unit, that is unit number 3, introduction to thumb and ARM programming. So we have studied all instructions now. So using these instructions, how to write simple ALP, assembly language program, and various operations like arithmetic and logical operations, factorial of a number, and various operation on string. So I would like to thanks everyone for giving me an opportunity to deliver my lecturing on this platform. Thank you one and all.